Alright, welcome to another Boulevard Paper Fight video. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. So I got a box, and in it was this deck here, Damon Cameron Estate Teeth. And basically, I looked at this deck, and it had a lot of things that got me really excited, but overall it's missing some things to make it a truly golden deck. And that made me kind of sad, but I decided that's not going to get me down, and I still decided to make this a deck that gets some love. So I'm going to kind of go into why I like this deck and kind of where its pitfalls are and why it is not that top tier. Something a little bit different, and I wanted to focus on something that could be used in a casual play because everyone's always talking about competitive, and I do still think that the casual game is very important and a really fun way to enjoy KeyForge. There's less stress, less pressure, just hanging out with friends and jamming some interesting decks that maybe are not top tier, but do provide some cool stuff. So let's get into this one and have a look at the card pool. Alright, so Damon Cameron Estate Teeth is the name of the deck, and it is a Logos Untamed Sanctum deck. So here we go. It's got a Legacy Niffle Ape, so I'm just going to do a creature count right off the top. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 creatures. So that's nothing to scoff at. And now Raw Ember, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's pretty good. 10 is an acceptable number. And now this is where things kind of start going off the rails a little bit. There is no key control in Untamed. The only thing that is somewhat control is the triple Emberspine Mongrel, because if they go to Reap, they're going to be paying the price for that, so they have to think twice. So not really control, but I guess somewhat, because it doesn't make them just Reap out. Doorstep is obviously the best key control in this deck. It's fantastic. I mean, having a Glimmer as well is great, so you can recur this card if need be. Repate is pretty good. Not ideal. And Maruk the Mark is the next thing. And with double Abons, that can make Maruk a little bit more capable of capturing, putting a Boutrum next to it, so harder to kill. And then aside from that, you're seeing here not much. Really, you have Cutthroat Research really to just not have excess Ember if they're going to have a big burst turn. So that's the kind of unfortunate part of this deck, is it is missing the Ember control, which is a crucial thing. But why I love this deck is having something like a Pampaka and the Emberspine. I could see if you can get these out and they stick, and you can drop a Chota potentially at one turn. You can also get your Chota back into your deck with Song of Spring, especially if you get in your hand too early. You have a Key Charge as well, so 2 key cheats there, which is fantastic. Again, the Glimmer to put things back from your discard into your hand as you need. Double Full Moon, and there's 7 creatures in here. Well, technically 6, because I don't think Chota counts totally, but you know, you never know how that can work out for you. And then you got a way to get rid of elusive creatures, and there are no elusive creatures in this deck, so this is that much more powerful. Way to stall them potentially. Great artifact control. You can use it with any turn house you call due to the Omni effect, so that's fantastic. And then obviously Barrister, creatures cannot reap. I played a game with this earlier today, which you can check out. I'll post it at the end of the video. And that actually happened where I was playing against an opponent with Mars, and it was a Coda deck, and I dropped this turn 1. Turn 2, they play a Marauder, a John Smith, and a Vizima Think Drone, and then follow up next turn with a Zookeeper, and guess what? They could not reap, so therefore they could not activate those really powerful Mars abilities. So realizing the potential of shutting down a game plan with Barrister because you cannot reap, and not having big enough creatures to deal with it is really fantastic. And it has the double Grey Rider here, and with 22 creatures, you should be able to control the board and take out those high targets. And not even high targets, just any target for the most part that gets in the way, so you can reap for 6 with this. So in a way, you're kind of racing with this deck, and if you can be reaping with this and then Untamed next turn into a KeyCharge or a Chota, you're just laughing. So the idea, I think this is kind of a weird racing deck in a way with control. And then you got the Abons to make your creatures stick, same with Boutrum. And then you can use this to swap things around. So you got some of those deploys in here. This is a great way to move those to where you want them to be. Nothing wrong with a little deck manipulation, getting 2 of these to destroy and archive the top card of your deck. Putting something that's really important back on the top of your deck with backup copy. I mean, there's so many different things in here. You could have your Maruk, you could have your Barrister, you could even go into, if you need to keep your Grey Riders around, or wanting a Chota, Glimmer. There's so many things that are targets for this. ZOIX Researcher, again, more deck manipulation, archiving, getting to archive stuff in your discard. If you got some of those, like a Doorstep or something that last turn, you finish off, then you drop this next turn, it just keeps you going. Wild Wormhole. There's only the 1 alpha in here, so but you do have 2 key cheat possibilities, so the Wild Wormhole is not the greatest in this deck. Again, Titan Mechanic, making keys cost 5. You can work this to your advantage. I've used Titan Mechanic many a time to help myself still forge. I mean, if you're playing against it too much to protect, this is a great card because they steal all but 6. Guess what? You're still forging, so that's really good, even if they steal that extra 1, which is the game plan. And then obviously having a Stutterkin with a good creature count in Logos is really great, so you get to go through your deck faster. Poke, get rid of those pesky Dusk Witches, pretty much the main target, I would say. But there are also other things you may want to deal with that you can use this way. Again, Hexavion destroyed, archiving the top card of your deck, and Hexavion, always great. And then the somewhat mediocre Cutthroat Research. So those are all the things I think are cool in the deck, but really what makes me love this deck is this triple Ember Spine, and you put a Panpaka Anga next to it, and you just basically got this really big line that is hard to deal with, and they are not going to be able to reap. So that's going to do it for today with this deck. I just kind of wanted to touch on a deck that on paper it's missing a really crucial element to being a really competitive deck, but it has a lot of other things that are so much fun to play with, and I think you just got to race with this deck to make it win. But if they're going as fast as you and getting into check, you're going to have a hard time basically taking them off check, and that's kind of the pitfall of this deck. But it's a really fun deck to play. I really enjoy playing it on TCO. And you can check out my game I jammed earlier this morning for Untamed Tuesday, and see what you think of how some things came out. So thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe, and as I said, check out those videos. Have a good one.